Hey kids, this is Ivan. How you doing? It's amazing how many different perspectives there are on any given topic. And that's certainly been the case here as I've been examining this whole idea of disturbing themes in role-playing games. And so once again, I found myself in the middle of a series. But as I've listened to people talk, as I've read comments on my videos, as I've read, all kinds of literature and, blogs and posts and, what have you, as I've talked to various people, I've been exposed to quite a few different perspectives, ideas, opinions, experiences. And so, it's funny too. I think it's human nature. When you're exposed to an opinion or a perspective that's seemingly diametrically opposed to your own, it's easy to go away if you're not careful, kind of scratching your head, wondering if the other person is in fact crazy. But then at some point, we all become adults and realize that there's just different takes on things. So I found that I have my own take on things, but there's various other perspectives out there. So I've kind of put them into various categories, and this is kind of a loose set, and so I'm pigeonholing people a little bit, so sorry. But, just in terms of, helping myself make sense of the entire spectrum, for lack of a better word. So I'll just jump right into it. I found that some people seem to seek the experience on purpose, and play seems to be arranged in order to provide that experience. And this isn't unusual. I've noticed there are gamers that just do that with whatever experience they want. They did, but in this case, you're deciding you want some kind of disturbing experience, so you're going to pick the game. You're going to pick, the play style. You're going to pick the people because you want that end experience. That's the goal. There's other people that seem to, want to avoid being uncomfortable at all costs. And when things get a little squicky, they want out. Squeamish and icky. Great word, squicky. Never heard of it until I started, looking at role-playing game blogs and what have you. And there's, a subset of that group, I guess, that they're very, very trigger conscious, sometimes to the extreme. Now, there's another group of people that seem to enjoy indulging in disturbing themes to like an almost absurd degree, or sometimes just a plain old absurd degree. And, to the point where it's no longer disturbing, it's just kind of comical. Or I guess you could divide that group up into two, and there's some people who are just, it's clear they might have something wrong with them. You just kind of want to back away slowly. But, I think Nolan Quizzer was even mentioning, in his comment on one of my videos about some horror movies that are just so over the top that it's no longer disturbing. It's just kind of almost funny in an odd way. And I believe with the right group of people that you've known for a long time, you know each other, you know each other's tastes really well. You're comfortable with each other. There's a time and place for that, but that's a completely different video. So I'll just kind of leave that alone. I've noticed though that the vast majority, I believe, are kind of indifferent. It's something they haven't experienced. It's something they don't care about. It's a topic that just maybe perplexes them, or just they're not really quite sure what to make of it. Something they haven't really considered. Or that hasn't been their experience when it comes to role-playing games. Maybe they want to just escape or whatever. They can be very. I think you can probably divide that group into a lot of different people or sets. But yeah, that's just kind of what I've encountered. Now, I'll talk about my own take just a little bit because I was, once again, this is a channel about me. But in contrast to the first group that's looking for the experience and making the effort to create it. For me, that's not what I'm after. Like, what draws me is a situation or a premise. I find something compelling, and it may be dark, it may be disturbing, but something about it is compelling. And then, as I engage in that, whatever experience shows up is the experience that shows up, and that's okay. I wasn't trying to get it. That's just what showed up. I've had times I think maybe it was Tim Harper that was talking about the idea. I think maybe he was talking about like Lovecraft type stuff where you had to kind of step away for a second. And I've certainly had experiences, not so much in role playing games, with some kind of literature or media, where the experience that showed up, I was like, gosh, that's a little intense. Let me just back away from this for a second. And then I've gone back when I've kind of collected myself, for lack of a better term. But that's been my take, I suppose, my perspective is that it's not about the experience. I don't really have a heck of a lot of lines when it comes right down to it. I will check almost anything out. I don't have too many things that I have to say, well, this is a trigger. I can't do this. But I'm not necessarily looking for the experience. It just kind of shows up as I'm engaging in a situation or premise that I find compelling. So what about you? And which one of those categories do you fit into? Do you have a category of your own? What is your perspective on all this? Are you somebody that wants the experience? Are you somebody that tries to avoid it at all costs? Are you somebody that maybe just a little bit over the top? Are you just kind of indifferent? Or are you just drawn to certain premises and whatever shows up is okay? Tell me about it.